As I understand it, the Florida thing doesn't include the education. So, in other words, until the government and until the people get serious and start saying we want all of this public education nonsense ended categorically. In other words, when the rubber meets the road, you want the money to stop flowing from your pocket to their pocket. It's that simple. When that stops, then I'll believe that they're being serious. When you have direct control over that, not through voting, come on, that's no. You can do voting in the grander sense of the word, but you really have no way to enforce any of your opinions now, do you? Right? Because, I mean, as I just talked about in the previous video, that, if you say, hey, listen, I don't like where this is going, and I think that this is wrong. I think this direction we're heading, where you've got a whole bunch of people that you've had them for 12 years. For example, let's use the school system. You've had them for 12 years. And at the end of 12 years, they're still not good enough to go out into the workforce. They have to go to super school and go into a bunch of debt. That is complete fucking bullshit. No, dude, 8th grade is enough. 8th grade is more than adequate. And, and then go out and apprentice from there. I mean, that's how you would do that. That's how it was done for thousands of years. In fact, public education is a relatively recent animal in human evolution. Like that's a recent thing, in the last, couple hundred years. So no, I mean, how did it work before then? No, in other words, it's the meme, right? We see these giant, beautiful, over the top, insane buildings, and there's not an engineer in sight who built those. Nobody with college degrees, nobody with art degrees, nobody with architecture degrees. But they built these gigantic cities. They built these beautiful structures. So no, until they cut that off, I don't believe any of it. I think a lot of it is smoke and mirrors, and I think a lot of it is they'll just raise taxes somewhere else, which is usually how this kind of thing works, because they're not going to cut the budgets. When someone actually think about it like this. Put yourself in this situation. I don't just mean you, but I mean like anybody watching. Put yourself in this position mentally, okay? Somebody comes to you and wants to borrow money from you, okay, with the promise they're going to pay it back someday, maybe, possibly, if they get around to it. They want to borrow some money from you. And you look at their budget and you go, dude, what in the world here? You're needing to borrow money from me to pay your light bill because you can't afford your electricity, but you've decided to remodel your house, your kitchen, or something like that. Right? Your answer would be, get the fuck out of my house. What the hell are you thinking? That's common fucking sense, isn't it? It's exactly what you would do. It's what anybody would do. Anybody with half a brain would do that. They would go, dude, why are you spending, you just bought 2 new Corvettes that you don't need, but you need to borrow money from me because you can't afford your electric bill. Yeah. You would tell them, get the fuck out of your house. You would think that you were either joking, or you would think they have lost their goddamn mind. Right? Well, that's how government is. They're not going to cut the budget. Are they going to go sell those Corvettes? No, of course not. Right? Are they going to cut any of this stuff? Of course not. It's like the Mamdani thing in New York. Like, oh my God, we're $10 billion short. Whatever will we do? We need to tax a bunch of people. Why don't you cut the budget? Why don't you just make some cuts? Why don't you just cut $10 billion out of your fucking budget? You clearly don't have the money to do it. So, until I see the money stop flowing from the American people's pocket to their pocket, it's really just going to be smoke and mirrors. Not to be rude about it, but that's my answer.